Yeah, it's already like late September.
I know.
It's the 19th of September.
It's like we already have to start preparing for CES.
I was doing September things, and I was like, I'm on top of September, and then I was like, no, I'm not. It slips away so quickly.
Shut down.
All right. So cool. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is a live show Kyle and I do every Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We stream live to twitch.tv. We talk about technology. We drink some beer. We occasionally use some foul language, so bear that in mind. You know, not excessive or anything like that, but just some people are sensitive to that kind of thing. Bitches. So we like to point it out. I'm dwelling too much on that. Let's move on. We also stream the first half of the show to one of our channels. Today we're doing it to my channel, Paul's Hardware. This is episode 121. Side A. When we get about an hour into it, we'll switch over to Kyle's channel, and that's linked in the video description if you want to check it out. Thanks to all you guys who are watching live. We have people in Twitch, we have people in YouTube. It's a wonderful community. We've just Cells here, our moderator. Maybe. We've just added Kyle's wife Heather as a moderator also in YouTube chat, so everyone be on your best behavior.
God help us all.
That's not going to matter that I said that. All right.
It'll probably make it worse.
Real quick, while people hopefully start to trickle in, since our announcement should have gone out, if you want to help support our channels, if you enjoy what we do, if we bring you some entertainment in any way, help by buying stuff. You can buy stuff on my store, paulshardware.net, and I have a sale going on for mugs. I also just added some pullover hoodies that you can order in gray, black, and blue, and it's all real high quality stuff. So go there. Also, we're having a little contest right now that you guys can participate in.
Woo!
If you are interested in. The info is on both my store and Cal's store, but it's a design contest. And if any of you guys are designers out there, we have two prize categories. If you submit a design that we like, if we use a concept that you submit, you win $100. If we end up using your actual full design, like if you're really good at it and you give us like a nice image and it's with vectors and all that, then you get $300. So check it out. Info is on our store pages, and deadline for entries is October 15th. So do that, and maybe we will sell your merch on our store.
$300.
After we pay you for it.
That's almost an entry-level video card these days.
Yeah. We have lots of new merch actually coming up. We finally, after so many years, have finally connected our store with Brian, who's sent us quite a few awesome designs. So hopefully we're gonna have some of his stuff coming up soon as well in the stores. Yep. Anyway, Kyle's store is bitbit.tech/store. Check it out. Organic cotton beanies. Is that new?
It's fairly new. It's a couple weeks new. Organic
cotton beanies. We both have ladies' tees on our shirts now too. So you know, a lovely gift for a girlfriend or wife, or for the 3% of female audience according to YouTube.
I only have 2.
We got you covered. Yeah, it's more like 2 point something, but you know, we're being generous.
Close enough.
Also, hats available. So thank you to all of you who buy stuff. We're gonna shout out your names at the end of the show. Other announcements today. Actually, wait, do I have 2 announcements? Hold on.
Oh, I know what the other one is.
So it is...
It's about my face.
There's I have 2 other announcements to cover at the beginning of it. Well, one of them is that it's Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Yar!
And we would have had like a full scripted routine set up for you guys, but we don't, because we've done that before.
On Newegg.
On Newegg, back in the day. This is from September 18th, 2013. So this is 4 years ago.
Damn, has it been 4 years since that?
29. We're not going to play the whole thing, but Kyle and I dressed up like pirates. I was Captain Chassis Intrusion Alarm.
Best name ever.
It's great. And we both go over all the news and stuff. Steve and Jenny are in there too at certain parts. So check that out. It's linked in the description.
If you ever want to see what I look like with heavy mascara, now's your chance.
Oh yeah, we were wearing mascara. I like this part at the end. Your joke.
My joke.
What rhymes with Hawaii?
Rum. It's classic.
Anyway, alright. So
gets me
if you actually want to hear me and Kyle talk like a pirate, that video's linked in the description. You can
best day to do it.
It was fun. That's one of my favorite. That's gotta be my top few yoked episodes that we did back in the day. All right,
we got to do that for Halloween this year for Awesome Hardware.
for Halloween.
Maybe not pirates, but dress up and be in character and
that would be nice.
Kind of cosplay.
I kind of want to.
Role play.
It's like I say that I'm like it's only late September.
I know.
I had plenty of time to make a costume.
Right.
Then it's like October 30th.
It's like 2 days ago. Yeah.
I promised. Yeah.
That's true.
So one more announcement. Apparently, this was sent over to us on Twitter. And this is based on last week's Awesome Hardware, which had its own share of epic fails going on.
I can't believe this is real. This is seriously real.
So, Kyle, who ejected beer into his face in between episodes, it was actually in between halves of the episode last week. Yep. It was captured on Twitch. Kyle posted it to his channel. It was quite the classic moment, but apparently. This is logged into your Twitter here, but apparently you can actually tweet it if you go to tweet, and we go Kyle fail. Does it pull? It does. It's right there. So I'm gonna tweet as Kyle right now, and there we go. All right. So
excellent.
Thank you, Mem, for sending that over. And everyone, feel free to use the Kyle fail GIF from last week because it's there. They're on Twitter. Yay!
Unbelievable.
Just gotta search for Kyle fail.
So Twitter had to have done that.
I don't know.
How do those get added?
I have no idea how the best GIFs get nominated to be automatic Twitter GIF. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a chart? There's got to be like some. There's like a council of like elders or something like that at Twitter.
The GIF panel,
yeah,
the GIF board of directors.
Solemnly go over each GIF, and yes, this one is worthy, and then like it ascends this little aura surrounding it.
And they all do a song and dance ritual around.
That's how it works.
Cool.
All right, let's move into the first segment. Well, I guess technically the second segment we might have since announcements was kind of extended today. No, it's not new. I'm clicking the wrong thing. It's hot and heavy hardware. Hot and heavy hardware.
Woo!
We must clearly establish each segment as we go into it. That's part of the show.
Lower thirds, baby.
All right, so we got some tech hardware news. Heavy hardware. Hard drives. Hard drives are heavy. That is
true.
That's a perfect segue. Western Digital is shipping a 12 terabyte hard drive, the WD Gold.
Wow.
They just keep adding new colors.
Is this enterprise or is this consumer?
It is enterprise. So I guess black wasn't cool enough anymore for the WD black drives, but WD Gold, it's 12 terabytes, 8 platters, pretty insane as far as overall storage capacity. 7200 RPM. It's a helium-filled drive. It's actually based on the same platform as Hitachi's HGST, Hitachi's Ultrastar HE12, which also launched earlier this year. It uses 4th generation HelioSeal technology. Helium in the drive allows the platters to spin with less turbulence, which is why they can make them closer together, and that's the benefit there.
I wonder if it's much louder because there's 8 platters.
The helium drives I've had they're pretty quiet. I mean, no louder than you'd expect a decent hard drive to be.
That's good.
You know. But yeah, 1.5 terabytes per platter with 8 of them in their total. Perpendicular magnetic recording. This is made for nearline enterprise environments. So like, either high-end consumer or, entry-level prosumer, or I'm sure these are going to be used in data centers and that kind of thing as well. So that means it's equipped with sensors and technologies to prevent it against vibration, make it more easy to put multiple drives into a single, like NAS array or something like that, have drives next to each other so that they don't interfere with each other when it comes to vibration. Supports TLER, or time-limited error recovery rebuild assist mode, to speed up RAID recovery time, 255 megabytes per second sustained transfer rates, 4.16 millisecond average latency, which are pretty damn good specs for a spinning mechanical hard drive. Yeah.
Is there any price on this?
There is. You can buy it directly from WD for $522.
Wow.
It's available at multiple retailers right now, including Newegg for $540. So I guess you can get a better deal if you go straight to WD, but I don't know if you have to have an enterprise account with them or that kind of thing.
Damn.
But yeah, $540 at Newegg, which is a lot of money for a hard drive, but considering the capacity, it's not terrible. Actually, article is from AnandTech, by the way. All the articles I'm talking about are linked in the video's description. But they, for instance, take a look at it. This is the 12 terabyte model on the left, and it's 23 gigabytes per dollar, or about 4.35 cents per gigabyte. And again, that's based on the MSRP of $522. And that's actually, you know, less than well, actually, sorry, it's a little bit more than, I guess, their 10 terabyte and 8 terabyte drives, but it is fairly new still. But it is less than their 8 terabyte drive retailed for about 1.5 years ago, because it launched at $600. So there you go. Anyway.
Well, cool.
Hard drives.
I like hard drives.
Super. I mean,
when I need
if NAND prices weren't so crazy, I'd be like, this is obsolete.
Yeah.
There's going to be 20 terabyte NANDs, flash array drives soon, but I don't know.
No sight of that anytime soon. Oh, cool.
Oh, by the way, we drink beer on the show. We forgot to do that. We're drinking some Lagunitas, little something ale.
Little something.
And cheers.
Cheers.
To all of you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the next story here in Hot and Heavy Hardware. Also, the sun is setting, so we're getting some extra special, some special video effects.
It's not your GPU artifacting or anything.
No, that's a special aspect of the show that we have now. I kind of like it.
The shine.
And it's only going to happen for a while. Like, give it a few weeks, and especially once the time changes.
True.
And it'll be dark by this time. So
saber it while you still can.
So 56 core, 112 thread workstation. What do you think? That sounds exciting. That is what HP has on offer with their new Z8 workstation. Freaking insane core counts and with hyper-threading, 112 threads, 3 terabytes of system memory. Not like hard drive, system memory.
Good lord.
And that's pretty crazy. It's also got this like sort of configuration with a bunch of vents and everything to make sure that there's airflow directed to the various parts of the actual workstation.
3 GPUs? Yeah,
so the max configuration that they're talking about here is dual Xeon Platinum 8180 chips, and the Xeon Platinum 8180 is based on Skylake SP, 28 cores, 56 threads per CPU with 38.5 megabytes of cache. They run at 2.5 to 3.8 gigahertz, so even some pretty decent frequencies on these, I would imagine, when it's not using all of the cores and threads, of course. Support for up to 1.5 terabytes of RAM per CPU, giving you a grand total of up to 3.
Holy crap.
Which is cool. Next year, there's actually going to be a successor to this 8180 Platinum Series Xeon chip, the 8180M. That's going to have basically the same amount of cores and the same speeds, but it doubles the total memory capacity to 3 terabytes per CPU. So if you filled out all 24 RAM slots in this with, I don't know what capacity DIMMs, I'd have to do math. I'm not going to do that right now. But if you maxed it out, you could have 6 terabytes of system memory.
Will it be 3,000 divided by 12, or 24, you said? 24 slots? 24 DIMM slots?
It's 6,000, because it's 3,000 per CPU.
Oh, it's, okay.
It'd be 6,000 divided by 24.
I can't control things.
Yeah, you can have up to 3 NVIDIA Quadro P6000 GPUs.
250 gigs. A 250 gig
so
stick.
256 gig sticks.
Good lord.
Is that...
Is that right?
What does it go up to right now on the server side?
I don't know.
I know there's 32, and I think I've seen 64. Do they have 128 gig DIMMs?
I mean, is it just maximum supported, or are they saying, like, you can spec this out with...
This is maximum theoretically supported by the CPU. So theoretical support by the CPU and DIMMs actually available that have that capacity are definitely 2 different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think 64 gig is as high as I have seen on the server side. So we're talking about, you know, in a year or 2 when maybe there will be DIMMs that have that much capacity. Anyway, the actual system has 4 internal drive bays. Wait, I lost my spot. 2 external and a 3rd external for an optical drive, 9 PCIe slots, and it's got a range of gigabits and 10 gigabit Ethernet adapters that are available on there. The storage options are up to 4 terabytes of PCIe mounted SSD, which I would imagine would be NVMe, 48 terabytes of spinning disks, 10 gigabit Ethernet, 802.11 ABG, and AC Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.2, Thunderbolt 3 available with an add-in card. 1700 watt power supply is what they would use to power this workstation and all of that hardware in there. And I already kind of talked about the ducting and stuff, which I mean, I'd be very curious to see some stats on this, like full load performance numbers and that kind of thing with the fully kitted out system. $2,439 for the lowest end model, which goes down to because there's the Z8 and there's a Z6 and a Z4 as well that have different other single slot or single CPU, single socket configurations, I guess I should say. But anyway, $2,439 for the bottom spec, and the article says we'd expect the top end configuration to cost 20 times that, which would be $48,800. I don't know if that's speculation on behalf of ARS Technica here or not, but I mean, hey, top end workstation, 50 grand.
If you need that much horsepower, I suppose it's worth it.
I guess so. They're built for 3D engineering and modeling and 8K video production.
I wonder how much that costs if you built it yourself. Like how much you would save. Like, would you save anything, or if that's like the exact? I mean, they have to make some sort of margin.
When you're talking high-end workstations, there's a lot of extra stuff that you get for them, and things are grossly overpriced when you just look at hardware costs. But there's a lot of extra stuff that you get when it comes to support and validation for specific like enterprise level software and that kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway,
Good Lord.
One more item of note here on Hot and Heavy Hardware. This is about Threadripper, which is I think I would classify as hot and heavy hardware. But yeah, Threadripper was recently delidded by Der Bauer. We've talked about several of his delidding escapades in recent time, and there was a kerfuffle when it first happened, because if you look at some of the images here, there's a lot of speculation as to what the extra dies are doing here, because this is basically looks the same as Epic, which on the server side can have a full complement of 8 Ryzen cores, or 8 Ryzen dies, each with 8 CPUs, giving you a total of up to 32 cores and 64 threads. Threadripper goes up to 16 cores and 32 threads, and they've told us that only 2 of the 4 actual dies are doing any work. So what are the other 2 dies doing, or what are the other 2 dies? Right. Are they disabled dies? Are they dummy dies? Are they inactive dies? And when he actually delidded it, they saw that there was actual gold. I believe you can see in this image, there's actually gold contacts on all 4 of them, which might make you think that maybe they're inactive. And of course, the next question is like, oh, maybe you could actually enable them somehow or turn them on. But this is the follow-up, because this actually posted last week sometime. I think this was actually about the same time we did the show last week. But James Pryor, who is a product manager at AMD, followed up on this and basically said it's not an Epic, it's a different substrate, it's different dies. 2 of the dies work, 2 have no path to operation, they are basically rocks. So yeah, they're not described as inactive, but dummy. So it doesn't matter if they were dead or active, they're just not going to work at all. So anyone who maybe had machinations on like somehow using the pencil trick or something like that to turn on your other Threadripper core or your other Threadripper dies, it's not going to happen.
Bummer.
There was some discussion of this online, and actually Ian Cuttress from AMD responded with the general workflow.
You mean Anantech?
I'm sorry, from Anantech. Ian Cuttrers from
I was like, when did that happen?
Well, yeah, sorry, no, they didn't get him too. But this is his general workflow of Threadripper dies, and the Zeppelin wafer, each Zeppelin wafer, which they can harvest about 290 dies from. Some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them fully work, some of them don't. So ones that fail will either be used for Threadripper, for the dummy dies, or they just go to landfill, I guess. This is also his assumption, I imagine, but... And then the other dies, the top 5% of them are sorted out, and those go to Threadripper as far as overclocking goes. Everything else gets relegated to Ryzen-based products, as well as, I would guess, Epic. But all the reports on AMD's yields for Ryzen have been very good, so I think that's part of the reason why they're doing so well with it. Yeah. They've been able to keep up with demand in all areas, from my understanding. All right, next segment. That's the end of the first segment, by the way, which I'm going to take a drink.
That was very efficient. We didn't linger or anything.
It was?
I thought
I have lots of stuff to talk about.
You were very concise.
I'm trying to bang through it. I also have, bang. Yeah, I did. It's like sex. Also, like, whenever... Have you guys noticed the lighting is better today? I mean, other than the beams of sunlight across our face. Other than that, it's way
Chris.
better.
It's Chris, my new intern.
Chris, Kyle's intern.
He comes in twice a week, and I've been sort of, like, watching how he sets up the lights.
There's
we
LED
got new lights, too.
There's a big diffuser over here. It's very nice.
It's a shower curtain.
It's a shower curtain.
It's literally a shower curtain hanging from a C-stand.
But it's a diffuser.
It works great.
And it's diffusing some of the sunlight, too, right now, which is probably giving a very nice blend. That's why
You got some shine on your hand as well. Yep. But if you compare,
keep it off screen too,
if you compare the,
get a little closer.
If you compare the lighting from like last week's video or last week's episode to this one, it's just night and day. It's absolutely crazy. What?
I'm just kidding.
Touch your what?
Next segment.
We're streaming, Paul. Wait till the cameras go down.
The next segment is insecurity. I actually did a segment about security and stuff. This is mainly information and recommendations that I've found from other sources because I don't consider myself to be an expert on this by any stretch. But I almost forgot. We actually already had a segment called Insecurity. So that's what we're... Anyway. Point is, Equifax. We didn't talk about Equifax last week. It was sort of new news last week. But if you're not familiar with the Equifax breach, you probably should be. I would be surprised if you're not. But Equifax is one of the three major credit reporting agencies in the United States. They were hacked, and 143 million consumers' informations were basically stolen, and they're out in the wild. They're somewhere on the internet now. Now, I want to point out here again that I'm not an expert in finance, and I don't claim to have all the answers about this, but these are actually some of the steps that I'm going to be taking personally to attempt to do some protection for myself. So I wanted to share that with you guys in case you're sort of not exactly sure what to do. But yeah,
I don't know what to do.
This is a huge deal. Don't worry, I told your wife about some of this stuff.
Oh, good.
So, I figured
we'll let her handle it.
She's the responsible one.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, but basically, here's the question. Are you an American adult that has ever held or inquired about a credit card, loan, car, bank account, cell phone account, electric service, water service, internet service, a security clearance, most jobs, most schools, most apartment complexes, or renting or buying a house? Then you are affected. It's actually even affected people internationally as well. There's other informations from people in the EU that's gotten scooped up with this as well. And there's a ton of news stories about it, but I'm basically going to link to a single Reddit thread, which is on the You Should Know subreddit, which goes over some kind of steps to take and the ultimate decision that the thread makes, and what I'm going to probably be doing as well, is turning off my credit. Now, turning off your credit or doing a credit freeze is something you need to do individually with each credit agency. And prior to now, that's actually cost money. You have to pay for it every time, which kind of sucks. It's not a lot of money, but it'd be, you know, somewhere in the range of
every time you freeze it?
$30 every time you freeze it.
Okay.
And then if you freeze it, it doesn't mean that like your credit cards stop working or anything like that. Any accounts that you've already opened still work. It just means that nobody can inquire. No one can ping your credit and do a credit check. Of course, that means if you need to get a job or do any of those things that I just listed, that yeah, you're going to need to turn it back on and then probably turn it back off. But this is probably your best bet at protecting yourself in the event that someone who has gotten your information from this breach, which includes social security numbers, addresses, credit histories, all of the relevant information that they would need to perform identity theft or anything like that. Yeah.
What a great time to have horrible credit.
Yeah.
Because then no one would want to steal your identity, as someone mentioned in chat. Unfortunately, my credit is very good. I'm a prime suspect, or a prime candidate for
there's a bunch of nonsense that has come out since this information became public. For instance, people were first told this sort of like crappy news that they knew about this about 6 weeks ago, and then the public just found out. Actually, they discovered it back in March, 6 months ago.
Wow.
Which kind of sucks. There's like 3 of their higher ups, including the CFO, who like sold their stock in the company prior to this going public. There's two of their chief executives like just left. We're like, all right, I'm done. I'm just peace out. So there's a ton of fallout still to happen from this.
What are the type? in what ways can you be affected negatively by this? Like, can someone assume your identity? You know,
yeah, identity theft,
fraud,
someone attempting
fraud.
to open a credit card in your name.
Right.
Actually,
Taxes,
one of the
maybe?
things mentioned in the article, in this breakdown on Reddit, is people filing taxes in your name is a potential issue.
Good Lord.
And that is a massive, massive problem if someone is able to do it. So one of the recommendations from the article as well is, come 2018, get your W-2s and file your taxes as soon as you possibly can. That's your best bet for doing that.
Okay.
Another strong recommendation is to get your credit report right now. You want to get that from annualcreditreport.com. The government mandates that everyone can get their credit report for free once a year. Annualcreditreport.com is the actual only single website. All of the other like credit monitoring services and everything like that are like, you know, they're varying levels of legitimacy, but annualcreditreport.com is the actual one where you can go and get your credit report. And we're not sure what's going to happen. There's politicians who are introducing legislature to try to make it harder for credit company or credit monitoring companies to be this negligent. Yeah, lots more still to come, but this was the breakdown I found of it that I found to be very helpful, explains everything very clearly, and if you or your friends or family who are, I guarantee, are affected by this, aren't exactly sure what to do, I highly recommend just checking that out, and very much would consider turning your credit off if you're at all concerned about that, or if you're able to do it.
A super helpful FYI. It's good to know.
Anyway. Yeah, there's more on that. There's actually there's so much more on that, but yeah, it's a really the amount of fraud that's going to happen this holiday season
It's kind of insane.
is going to be crazy. So
record breaking.
yeah. Get your credit report right now, so that if anything happens in the future, you can say, look, this is what it was before whatever happens.
Right.
And it's just kind of a lottery. Like, there's so much information out there. It's just like, are you going to be the one who is targeted? So
Yeah.
that kind of sucks.
That's scary.
All right, CCleaner is a software utility which I have personally recommended to people in the past.
Me too.
However, Avast, which is a company who owns Puriform, which is a company who develops CCleaner, has let people know that it's been compromised. In fact, hackers were able to inject malicious data harvesting code piggybacked onto the installer program for CCleaner. Avast is reckoning that this has affected about 2.27 million users. So that's kind of crappy, because CCleaner is crap. It's crap cleaner is basically what it is, and it was a very useful tool for, like, if you had a notebook, like a laptop that you bought with a bunch of bloatware on it or something like that. It was very good at going and cleaning that stuff out. But this is sort of a slightly newer trick that I guess that hackers have been using to distribute their malware and viruses, is to piggyback it on software that people otherwise trust. This effective versions of CCleaner 5.33.6162 as well as CCleaner Cloud 1.07.3191. Avast Puriform recommends upgrading to version 5.34 of CCleaner or higher, is what they recommend. If you have it already and you're just like, I just want to get rid of this because I don't want it anymore, the concern would be if you had a version that was affected. Now, my personal, like, the thing I do if I know that a computer has a virus that has been compromised is I nuke it. Like, I don't care. I format it. I get rid of any data that's on the hard drive, and that will solve your problem in the vast majority of situations.
You mean like in this situation, like where CCleaner, like all the computers,
like
that
if you have it, you're like, I'm just
CCleaner?
gonna uninstall it. Like, you just, if you want to be sure that that your system is not compromised, that's just what I do.
Have you done
That's all
that
I'm saying.
to
What?
your systems with CCleaner on them already?
I haven't used recommended CCleaner recently, so
Oh, okay.
I don't think I have any systems
Well, that's good.
that are affected by this. And
I do have, so Hotline has CCleaner on it.
Oh.
And but fortunately, it's an older version. It's like 5.2 something, and it says the affected one was 5.33.
So if you
So I
don't,
figured
so if it's an older
it would be
version,
okay.
you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think I'm good.
So there you go.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Also, I mean, if you are concerned, or if you were affected by it, if you did have this software installed, it was capable of harvesting your computer name, your IP address, a list of installed software, a list of active software, and a list of network adapters, which is all data that CCleaner was, you know, it's the type of data that software would have legitimately been able to collect. It is then taking that data, which Piriform describes as non-sensitive, and transmitting it to a third-party computer server located in the US, and that server was shut down as of September 15th, 4 days ago. So it's not necessarily the most, it's not like it's got your social security number, because that doesn't matter anyway, because of freaking Equifax.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's at least not the most serious information. It's mainly the method of deployment that I think was a little bit more of a concern. Also, that they were able to to get this actually into the installer is a little bit disconcerting.
Indeed.
Yeah, CCleaner at the time that Piriform was bought by Avast in July. Avast has 2.27 million users were affected, but at the time of the acquisition, CCleaner was billed as having 130 million users and 15 million on Android. Android is not affected at all. The payload delivery for this was limited because it only affected users with 32-bit Windows PCs. So I guess that would be another reason why Hotline would not have a chance of being affected. So that's probably what limited the amount of people, considering the actual install base of CCleaner.
Thank God
all right,
for that.
That's all for that story. Next is...
I don't like this segment.
Apple.
It's making me uncomfortable.
Well, it's information that people should know about. See, I did a whole segment on phones last week, and the iPhone X had just been announced, and I didn't mention it all. It was classic, just a slap in the face to Apple, reverberated throughout the tech world. I saw lots of articles on it. But anyway, they did have a few new interesting things about the new iPhone X, for example, and the facial recognition system, which, as you can see, sprays you in the face with a pleasing purple aura. This is
alien Jews.
Not really, but yeah, it's facial recognition. So it's a biometric unlock. It's similar to like unlocking with your fingerprints or like Windows Hello. But it's a little bit more fancy than that. So this article from The Verge asks several questions about the facial recognition system, which I will kind of go over. Like, is it going to make it easier for police to unlock your phone if you were arrested or something like that, and they think you might have some incriminating evidence, and you're sitting there like, oh, you just beat the crap out of me, so I'm incapacitated, and they're like, I'm going to unlock your phone by holding it up to your face. And then they can get into your phone. Mm-hmm. And the article does reference some kind of shady situations where that actually comes into play. It is important to note, though, that the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States protects what you know, and it does not protect what you have. So this applies not only to facial recognition, but something like using a fingerprint. That's something you have, and it's been... There have been court cases about it. Some have gone one way, some have gone the other way. There's another article that we should also be linked in the description from Gizmodo talking about the iPhone case that they believe should go all the way to the Supreme Court. This is from back in June, but it's basically deciding this a little bit more clearly, one way or the other for people, as far as what capabilities the law enforcement has for getting access to your personal private information, which might be stored on a private device, which is a physical thing you have, which they might have the ability to confiscate because it's a physical thing, but if it's locked by a code that you only know in your mind, and they're not technically allowed to get what's in your mind, that's what you know. They're only supposed to be able to get at what you have.
Then they have to use Inception to extract your information.
Yes, that is exactly
the only logical means of entry.
So that certainly applies here. Now, Apple specifically talked about some of the physical challenges, for example, of using this, because they wanted to make it so that you can use it to use your face to unlock your phone, but not necessarily should be able to be used like if you're asleep and someone walks up to you with your phone. Shouldn't work, because if your eyes are closed, it doesn't actually work properly. It also it sprays a bunch of red dots on your face. That's kind of what's being shown here. So it does a scatter, it scatters a bunch of dots on your face, and then it reads those, and it uses that to determine depth, and that is why it's a lot fancier than just something that so it can't be fooled with a picture. There actually has to be depth there, and they used a bunch of masks to attempt to trick it, and said that it wouldn't work, but there's a possibility. The idea is that your eyes need to be open, you need to be actively trying to unlock your phone, so it should be more difficult for someone to unlock, but not impossible. Yeah, but something to consider. Could my face leak or get stolen, since Apple is collecting this information about your face and storing it? It's supposed to only be stored on the phone itself. It's not supposed to be uploading the face print data to the cloud or anything like that, so in that case, should be okay, but who knows if they change their policies in the future or anything like that. There's a question about a racial bias, which has been something that affects Face ID in the past. If you're not a white person, then there's challenges there. If the AI has been trained mostly on the faces of white people, and you happen to be black or Chinese or Indian or anything like that, then there might be more challenges there. Too early to say on that one was what the article concluded. Already talked about spoofing it with a picture. The other thing is that it's a motion camera, so when you're unlocking, there's some motion there. So that part of that with the 3D effect is what it's like. It's not just getting a straight-on shot of your face.
So it has to detect some sort of motion, just subtle motion.
Yeah.
In order for it to unlock.
Using the motion-capable cameras is part of the security and the unlocking feature.
I just feel like it's still going to be way too easy to crack. Once this phone gets in people's hands, like someone's gonna within a week or a day, someone's gonna be like, "This is the easiest thing to crack ever."
That was shown pretty quickly with
a lot of this biometric stuff
with a lot of the biometric fingerprint unlocking stuff. But
yeah, if you can do it with fingerprints, you can probably do it with faces. No problem.
This does seem like a step up, for example. But the other question is that Apple is going to soon have millions of people enrolled with Face ID, which gives them a powerful facial recognition tool, as well as input from millions of people that they can use to train their AI and stuff like that. And that also brings into question of can that knowledge be somehow used for evil or something like that, which, we're not really sure. Apple's generally pretty good when it comes to security of preserving privacy and that kind of thing for its users, so...
I feel like it's more data that they can either sell or exploit for their own profit, or for advertising, whatever it is. Like now they have a actual profile of your face, and they know what race you are, what gender you are, approximate age and whatnot, and they can then use that.
I got your social security number from Equifax. So.
I know. Nothing is yours anymore.
We're all screwed.
Damn it.
On that note,
go Android all the way. Moral of the story, right?
Let's move into news, more general tech news.
Okay.
And let's move to some lighter topics too. Tired of anything that requires
now that we're all depressed.
There's a beam of light across my face. I want to eat the sunlight.
I really just need a sliver of tape to cover up that one blind that's bleeding too much sunlight.
I don't know. It's kind of nice.
Into your retinas. It's kind of nice. I can feel myself growing.
It's like I never know which eye needs to respond more quickly to which one becomes more dilated.
It's a balancing act.
All right. Have you been playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
I've not been playing anything. Really. I've not had time to game in so long.
I want to game
6 months.
I want to game it a little bit more, but we have played it. We've attempted it, but it's a lot of fun. It's insanely popular. Breaking lots of records on Steam and whatnot. Legit Reviews did an interesting little article earlier today about how many cores, CPU cores that is, that you need to play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. This was, I think Nathan did. Yeah, this is an
Nate Dog.
Nathan. What, Nate Dog?
Rip.
He tested with a GTX 1080 Ti. He used the medium preset for PUBG. He tested at both 1920 by 1080 and 2560 by 1440 with a 7900X CPU. He was disabling cores on the CPU in order to simulate the different core count options, but these were basically his results. He tested 2 cores with and without hyperthreading, 4 cores with and without, 6 cores, 8 cores, and 10 cores. There's a pretty decent jump going from 2 cores to 4 threads. or 2 cores, 2 threads to 4 cores or 4 threads. There's another pretty big jump going from 4 cores to 8 threads, or going from 4 cores to 6 cores. In fact, quantify this about a 31% jump going from 2 to 4, about a 21% more jump going from 4 to 8, or I should say going from 4 to 6 when it comes to actual cores, going from 4 to 8 when it comes to thread count. So good news for anyone who's currently gaming with like a 7700K or 6700K or something like that. You do have pretty good capability to, seems like, max out your available performance if you have a 4-core 8-thread CPU or better. And again, some pretty decent performance from the 2 and 4 core solutions there. But
that's good
if you're rocking a 1080 Ti, you probably want at least 4 cores.
Yeah,
I guess would be the solution there.
It's nice to see like really popular, like one of the most popular games utilizing that many CPU cores effectively, especially to like line up with all of the, you know, high core count CPUs that have been dropping recently. Kind of makes you feel more justified in your purchase, I feel.
It also, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds uses Unreal Engine 4, which is somewhat notorious for being a bit of a resource hog, so it's good to see that they are working on some optimizations for this. And like Kyle said, the ability to take advantage of higher-end hardware that's out there. And given the type of game it is, you can have a lot going on at the same time with lots of different players and stuff. So, yeah, it certainly seems to be a good. I don't know. I'm having trouble coming up with some final closing statement for that. Let's move on.
More cores is better.
Hardware.info, which is a Dutch website, or at least the language is Dutch. But yeah, they have physically tested and attempted to turn on a Kaby Lake CPU and an Intel Z370 motherboard, as well as a Kaby Lake CPU, apparently, with the Z270 motherboard. Now, the reason this is interesting is because Intel's next generation, their next mainstream product line, is going to be motherboards with Z370 chipsets, and then Kaby Lake based CPUs, which are probably going to have 8000 series, based on the rumors. Now, they're not supposed to be compatible with the current generation of stuff, the Z270 and the Z170 motherboards for Skylake and Kaby Lake. However, it's still LGA 1151, and physically there is no difference between the chips. They have a shot here of the bottom of the CPUs, and they are exactly the same. LGA 1151.
Yep.
So they basically were like, well, what happens? What happens when you do it? And it's exactly as you would expect.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. So,
like Intel said.
It's vaguely interesting because this is an unreleased product, but also somewhat interesting in that they were testing, like, all right, you can give as much information to people as you want about the actual configuration and what's compatible with what. You're going to have somebody try to drop a Kaby Lake CPU into a Z270 motherboard, or vice versa, like they did.
Yeah.
It didn't destroy anything. There was no smoke. Basically, the system booted, went through post, but when it got to the last step, VGA, it boot looped after that. So yeah, there's no physical barrier to installation, but there's also no harm done or smoke or flames or a dead motherboard or CPU if you happen to install the incompatible CPU.
So the limitation seems fully software based. It has nothing to do with really the hardware of the socket or the chip itself.
It might be like a firmware thing, or
yeah.
I mean, there's various ways I'm sure that Intel can guarantee incompatibility, but
right.
Physical incompatibility, something that actually blocks you from installing it, is not there.
That just makes I think that would just make people more bitter.
And that probably
towards Intel.
That probably goes to tooling for manufacturing, which is very expensive to change up. So doing something for this new line of CPUs and motherboards that would make it physically different would have cost more money than it was worth. That's my guess. To actually do something to make it that much different. All right, a couple more quick stories to talk about. T-Mobile and Sprint are possibly in an active merger. I'm going to refresh this page real quick. T-Mobile is owned by Deutsche Telekom. Sprint is owned by SoftBank. They have been in frequent conversations about a stock-for-stock merger in which T-Mobile parent Deutsche Telekom would emerge as the major owner. Oh look, this video just started playing.
Whoa!
Oh, we should just listen to this guy.
Hey, let's just have him do the show for us.
Yeah, I didn't ask that video to play, it just played.
He's dressed for the part.
Let's scroll down the page a little bit. Oh look, the video just stays there. How annoying, CNBC. What if I just wanted to read? I didn't want this dude yelling in my face. Whatever. We'll move on from there. But yeah, they say negotiators are still weeks away from finalizing a deal. The chances of reaching an agreement are not assured. But this is the number 3 and number 4 wireless carriers, at least in the United States. There's questions as to whether it would be approved by regulators. Earlier this year, SoftBank's Masayoshi Son indicated a willingness to sell Sprint to T-Mobile, and T-Mobile CEO John Legere would be expected to lead any combination that results from this merger. So yeah, so it'd be T-Mobile would be the name that comes out of that, which I've always thought was weird because Sprint is one of those names that I feel like it's been around forever.
Right.
It's like you don't want to ditch all that branding, I guess, but who knows?
Yeah.
But let's move on from that. This is just a quick story, and we got Chrome. Hey, speaking of that annoying autoplay ad that just played with the audio, what a wonderful segue. Chrome's gonna block those. Nice. Thank you for complimenting my segue, Cal.
Sorry, I'm slow.
Chrome will get better at stopping those annoying autoplay videos starting in January. Hooray! Yeah. So if you ever go to websites, or let's say you like to open multiple tabs in your browser or something like that at the same time, and then you have some mystery tab that's playing audio. It's not terrible to locate those anymore. Most of the browsers now will have like a little icon or something like that, and will allow you to mute a tab specifically. But when they just start playing automatically, it's really freaking annoying. So I am happy that Chrome will be doing this. Should roll out in January. This is one of the most frequent concerns from users, says Google. Unexpected playback. The worst autoplay videos have to be the ones that minimize and follow you down the page while you're scrolling, says the article. Incidentally, which is exactly what the CNBC website we were just looking at did. Like when I found these stories, by the way, I found the CNBC one first. So then I was like, wow, that
perfect follow-up.
Yeah, it was a great. Chrome 63 version 63 is also going to add a new option to completely mute individual sites, so you can tell that website, like if you go to Tweaktown all the time, and the Tweaktown pop-ups are just blasting noise in your face, you can mute the entire website and it will stay like that through different sessions. That's a cool feature too.
Nice.
Google has also previously indicated they're going to introduce a built-in ad blocker for next year. All of this, I think, is generally speaking good news, but we also have to like grain of salt it with Google now, because they're not like we like Google and we use so much of their services, but they've also gotten so large where it's like you don't see them being just always good all the time. So it's also possible that they're using these changes to further assert their domination over the online advertising industry. So, you know, keep that in mind too, I guess.
So someone said we can now mute Pornhub at work.
Oh yeah.
Faux show.
Yeah, then you mute Pornhub on your work browser, and then you know that it's never just gonna start popping up.
Because that'd be awkward. Yeah. Unless you worked at Pornhub. Then
is that normal? I mean, what?
To work at Pornhub?
If you work at
Probably
Pornhub,
a little abnormal.
If you work at Pornhub,
depends on your family.
Can you just like be sitting there watching porn in your cubicle or something like that, and not really doing anything else? And people are like this.
He's just working.
He's a go-getter. Like
You're promoted.
I don't know. Kind of curious about the office politics at Pornhub now.
That'd be fascinating. There should be a stupid BuzzFeed video about that. But I digress.
Hopefully that will get done soon. All right,
get on it.
Last actual news story for today. Intel apparently is going to be launching Ice Lake 8-core and 16-thread mainstream CPUs in the second half of 2018.
Yay!
This would be supported on the 300 series platform that we've talked about, which about not having compatibility with current Kaby Lake processors, for example. However, I don't know. This is interesting. I'm not 100% sure that this is a WCCF Tech article, and I'm not Hassan, I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll leave it to you guys. But this is sourced from Eurocom, which is a manufacturer of high-end laptops and workstations, which often have swappable desktop parts in them, which is pretty cool. A rep from the company revealed on notebook review forums that they'll update their Tornado F5 laptop to the Z390 chipset, which is going to support Intel's 8-core and 16-thread CPUs, arriving in the second half of 2018. This is the actual comments about that from the Eurocom support. This is their actual support channel. So that's pretty straightforward that Eurocom is in the know about what will be supported on Intel's Z390 chipset. Z390 chipset is also a chipset that kind of came out in rumors recently, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more in Cal's half of the show. But it's one of those things people weren't aware of. Z370 is supposed to be the successor for Z270. Z390 might be a higher end option that might also still be mainstream. Maybe, we're not sure.
Yeah.
But Intel has definitely said that they're going to offer 8-core and 16-thread processors. I'm sorry, we know now that Intel is going to offer 8-core and 16-thread processors. They haven't said that, but we know that based on this, that they'll be available on the mainstream platform, assuming this is all true.
So this Eurocom guy pretty much spilled the beans, more or less.
Yeah, well, he seemed to
Probably
indicate
wasn't
some early
supposed to.
information. I mean, this type of stuff happens, and they can come out and be like, oh, he misspoke, or, you know, that kind of thing, or like, he wasn't familiar with the actual blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? It's early information. But the thing that sticks out to me here is they're talking about this potentially being Ice Lake, because Intel has stated in some of their in the product roadmaps and otherwise that Ice Lake, which is the second generation 10nm processor architecture, will be well under production in 2018. Now that's a wide time frame, but Ice Lake is second generation 10nm. They're supposed to be Cannon Lake.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So Cannon Lake is already on roadmaps, and there is supposed to be some low wattage, low power draw Cannon Lake stuff coming out at the end of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the desktop parts, like socketed desktop parts or anything like that. But this begs the question, you know, is Intel gonna fast track Ice Lake somehow for the desktop side? And that's what you're gonna see next after the whatever initial launch of Coffee Lake stuff they have going on right now.
Kind of seems like they
I'm not
might
really
be rushing things again, kind of like how they did with Skylake X.
Well, I think that's a big part of it, is that Intel's whatever roadmaps they had have been sort of thrown into disarray by the need to present a more competitive front to AMD and answer back to AMD with a lot of the stuff they've brought out on the mainstream side with Ryzen. You know, reliably so. And AMD, for their part, is already talking about Zen 2 architecture, the follow-up architecture to to Zen 1, which Ryzen is based on, and they're talking about it being able to hit much higher clock speeds and also having better instructions per clock performance. So that would be a pretty big jump, and that could close the gap in gaming performance and various other things like that. So Intel definitely is in a position where they need to bring some new products to market, and I'm sure 2018 is going to be a very interesting year for that. But it does seem, overall, with this information, like in 2018, you're going to see 8-core on the mainstream lineup from Intel, which makes sense to me.
Right.
That's where the industry is going. So that's
Gotta stay competitive with the Ryzen 7 family.
But like I said, more of that when we get over to Kyle's half of the show.
Yes.
We're gonna wrap up my half with what we get some Q&A.
Donations.
People have submitted donations to us and asked questions. We're gonna answer those really quickly. So starting off, and thanks to Cell for collecting these from Wishbone with a $5 donation. Do you think the Atari box concept is going to be a PS4 Pro, Xbox Scorpio contender, or lack in that area? I would say probably not. I think Atari Box is more of a retro device. It's made to play old school games.
It's for nostalgia.
So I don't think it's competing necessarily with the PS4 Pro or Xbox Scorpio.
Gonna go more on in the same vein that Nintendo has, I think. Just sort of appealing more to the mainstream family.
It's a nostalgic device for
thing.
people who don't know how emulators work.
Yeah.
Tom's Bremsmith's 50 Knox Norwegian Krona. Thank you, Tom's. Hey again, as in every week. When will be mail time and bacon or beef jerky? Also, Linus built an AMD 1920X NVIDIA 1080 PC just for lulz.
Wait, is that just for lulz or is that just for League of Legends?
League of Legends. I don't know.
The world may never know.
I haven't watched many Linus videos this week, so I'm not positive about that video. I need to check my PO box. I'll probably do that later this week. So
yeah.
Maybe I don't know if you have a chance to check yours.
No,
it usually depends on how much stuff we have rolling in. So yeah, if we got stuff, we'll collect it. So probably in the next week or two, we'll do another mail time and catch up on anyone who's sent us stuff.
But we have to answer his question: bacon or beef jerky?
Oh,
I'm gonna say beef jerky. That's Also because I can't imagine receiving bacon in the mail.
I'm curious about mail delivery bacon. But
maybe a little bit of both.
Probably beef jerky would be the most practical.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Send one of us bacon and
one of us gets bacon, one of us
beef jerky. We'll eat it all.
All right, thank you, Toms. Scott Dilbeck, $6.66 once again. Thank you, Scott. Weekly contribution. I bought a Vive. What do you guys recommend checking out? Ready to see some AAA titles. Getting my Vive set up again soon. So soon. Probably next week.
Cool. Nice. Any big plans to
No, I haven't. I mean, I want to. Yes, I'm planning to use it. That's as far as I've gone.
Okay.
Have you played any
I have not.
Vive games recently?
I have not touched VR in months and months. And it's
what
like
what were you playing that you were enjoying when you're doing the workout, your Vive workouts?
I was playing Hollow Ball, which is a very simple game. Hollow Point, totally unrelated.
Hollow Point's a lot of fun.
Which is also super fun if you like archery. The mechanics work really nicely with the arrow and the bow and stuff. And then Thrill of the Fight, which is the most physically demanding VR game I've ever played. If you are trying to like actually win and you want to get into it. But as far as just like having fun. Let's see. What VR titles have we played in the past?
I mean, I had a lot of fun with Space Pirate Trainer. But I know that one's
yeah.
It's just a fun little game to play. I know there's so many other games that have come out, and
that's the thing is like
not being able to bring it.
I feel like when we first started playing VR is when it kind of first came out.
That's why I need to get it set up again.
When all the games were still super indie, semi unfinished, and so much has happened since that time. So I feel like I'm totally out of it. I'm completely irrelevant when it comes to what VR games look like now. I know if you're on Oculus, if you're using an Oculus Rift, Scott Wasson from AMD, formerly of Tech Report, has just praised Robo Recall. Okay. Like 10 times over, and he says that's a really good game. Actually, I was at the dentist the other day, and my dentist was like, Kyle, I know you're into tech. I tried VR for the first time. Oh. My friend let me try this robot game, and I was like, was it Robo Recall? He's like, yeah, it was amazing. Like, I couldn't even kill the robots because I was so overwhelmed by the environment and stuff. And I was like, yeah, cool.
Super hot.
It's supposed to be really good as well.
Yeah, as a VR title is really cool, too. All right.
Yep.
Thank you, Scott.
A lot of good VR stuff.
Ian Stiggles, $5. Bet you wish you had that HD during Scrapyard Wars. Yeah, we could have used a hard drive during Scrapyard Wars.
Oh, the hard drive, yes.
I mean, 12 terabytes, 500 megabytes, either one. No, 500 gigs. Anyway.
We could have definitely used a 12 terabyte hard drive.
Thank you, Ian. We will definitely keep it up. Aaron Barlow, $5. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for the great entertainment and information, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
I'm out of beer.
I'm Manny99.
$5. Hi, guys. Congrats, Carl, on your increased Twitter fame. Oh, I thank you very much. Can I use one G-Sync and two non-G-Sync 144 Hz monitors for surround? Trying not to sell a kidney.
That seems to me like one of those like fringe features that NVIDIA would be like, yeah, we support that, and like one of those random things that,
right.
Yeah, we set that up so it does, but AMD can't do that or whatever. I don't think so exactly, at least not while you're using G-Sync.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
You could probably do that and like play on just the G-Sync monitor with G-Sync, or play on all the monitors without G-Sync.
Right.
Yeah, maybe try tweeting to NVIDIA about that and see if... Yeah.
Yell at them. Tell them to make it happen if they haven't already. Cooley77707, $10. Good show. I don't know what it is with beer and me.
2 weeks
lately.
in a row.
Going strong.
Where's wifey sauce?
Wifey sauce!
Party foul. Alright, and that wasn't my fault. I'm positive. I'm positive that was not my fault. I very clearly told him beer as I was setting it down. I don't think it got into any of the important parts of his laptop there, but wow. I don't know. That one probably won't go quite as viral as
Probably not.
as last week's. Why are you pushing it into my laptop?
I'm not, how else am I supposed to clean this?
Find that.
Good lord! I'm trying to do the soaking method because I know no other
let
method.
Your laptop absorb some ball.
Here, razors are very absorbent, as I found.
They are.
There, that's good.
All right.
Woo!
Yay! Well, hey, now
did
both
beer
of
get
our
there?
sets for Awesome Hardware
Have beer
smell
on
like
them.
Beer.
Yes,
It's awesome.
there are worse things it could smell.
All right. Thank you, Aaron, for your donation. I'm Manny. We were talking about Kyle's Twitter fame. Yes, very, very famous now. There's your beer.
I can't help it. Now I've succumbed to a curse. Like it's a live streaming curse.
Physically take that.
All right.
Cool.
I'm gonna drink this really quick before I spill it again.
Yeah, and we answered your question. Cool, thank you. Cooley77707, $10. Good show. Good donation, good comment. Thank you, Cooley. Omar Tyndall, $5. I sent you guys spicy food. Hopefully you got it. All right, I guess we really do need to check our PO boxes because I haven't in like a week or two.
Right.
Omar, I'm gonna check that out. I like spice. If it's spicy, I'm cool with it. If it's hot, super hot, Kyle will eat it. Holt Hamlet, $5. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are standing in a row. Small ones, big ones, some the size of your head.
Isn't that a Lion King song?
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Doodly-dee, there they are standing in a
I don't
row.
really know that original song, but yeah, that's a good song. It's a good song.
That's the only place I know it from.
We attempted it.
Yep.
Marshmallow, $10. Will you guys be doing Pimp My PC today?
No.
Next
week.
Kyle has all pimped out for this week.
I am super pimped out.
Brian Webb, $5. I have $350 to $400 for a new panel with my eye on the Acer XG270HU 1440p 144 hertz panel with red bezels. What you recommend? Pairing with the 90 Ti. That
monitor sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's a good one.
That sounds right about where you should be for $350 to $400 range. I don't know what size that is. I'm guessing 27 inch since it's got 2.7 in the title. But yeah, 27 inch is like, I feel like it's like the standard size now. Standard size for me used to be like 21, 22 inches.
And then it was like 24
27
for a while.
is like, you can get 27 inch 1080 for pretty cheap now.
Yeah.
27 inch
Big time.
1440 at 144 hertz. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. So good luck to you, Brian. I think that's a nice pair up with your 980 Ti as well. Jake 3D, $5. Just listened to last week's show, Kyle lol. Paul, is Kyle your illegitimate child? Do you have or want more children? Kyle, are you and Heather going to have kids? Oh, that's a
wow. These are such deep questions. So many deep questions in a row.
If I'm gonna have a kid, it's probably gonna happen in the next year or two. So I'm sure I'll tell you guys if that occurs.
Kid unboxing. We want a kid unboxing. Full kid review.
All right, yeah.
Like you know, I've been having a kid.
A cardboard box.
Maybe like I switched to having kids. You know, like I've tried having a kid for 90 days, and then give your feedback on it. Or like, you know, what's in the box? It's a kid, hopefully alive.
There's lots of options.
I'm just spitballing.
I like all of those.
Yep, do them all.
Kyle, you and Heather. You have kids.
We already have 2 fur babies.
Got the 2 fur babies.
That's good enough. Yep.
Anwar Nayar Escobar, 2,500 clips. Hey guys, there is yet a problem at Memories Kill between the Aura software and Trident Z RGB memories. Strix X370-F and Trident Z RGB. Cheers from Chile.
That's a good PSA.
Those should work together. You've got a motherboard and memory that should all synchronize RGB wise. Make sure you're updated to the latest version of the X370-F's UEFI BIOS. Potentially reinstall Aura software.
Oh, he's asking. I thought he was like telling us there was
You
an
might need
issue.
to go so far as actually clearing your BIOS settings and that kind of thing. But those should all synchronize up together. If they don't, you got a problem. I'm sorry if I can't provide you more troubleshooting info right here.
Des Jones, $5. Thoughts on the BS that is the highly possible risk of Vega add-in board partners being delayed? What do you think about all that BS, Paul?
I'm thinking, like, the amount that I care for a video card that's $200 overpriced is very minimal. And I feel like the amount that you guys care for a video card that's $200 or $300 overpriced is minimal too. So it becomes like something that I don't consider.
Yeah.
Like the existence of Vega 56 and Vega 64 isn't going to be viable to me until I can say, yes, you at home can buy one of these for the price that they're being sold for. So
yeah,
I feel like if that's the case, if they're just okay selling all of their cards to miners and whatever, then they're just kind of taking themselves out of the conversation when it comes to actual gaming graphics cards.
Yeah.
And I'll keep recommending buy a 1070 for $400.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Miles Bartlett.
Miles.
5 Canadian. Been watching for a while. Keep the fun content coming. What is the best tempered glass water cooling case in your opinion? There's so many now.
Yeah, they're
so
everywhere. It's like any case.
Any case.
Any case from last year that doesn't have a version with a tempered glass side
now
panel now
does.
I feel like all of these tempered glass side panel case manufacturers with those products should owe me royalties too somehow. But then I remember InWin. No.
And Lee and Lee. Lee and Lee had tempered glass. Back in the day.
A long time ago.
Name one Lee and Lee case with a plastic side panel window in the last 5 years.
I don't know, but the cases I remember coming out, like the D-frame, the InWin D-frame, was the first one I remember, like
the open air chassis.
Specialized tempered glass side panel on it. And
yeah.
Anyway.
They're around there.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Fantex,
Corsair,
Fractal, Cooler Master. Like, look at the case features and then get the version of tempered glass.
Coda, $10. Work schedule has been weird, so I haven't caught you guys for a while. And Paul, Jif is a tasty peanut butter, but I'm not sure what it has to do with animated pictures on the internet.
Oh yeah?
There's that whole debate. That should be a sword fight. Jif or GIF? You know? I think it's been proven that it's GIF though. Like officially. I don't know who's the official.
I was convinced when I went to Africa on safari and I tried to take a bunch of pictures of giraffes.
Boom!
Couldn't find
headshot. Boom.
Couldn't find any of those.
Why don't you just ask my friend Jeffrey, who spells his name with a G?
So your friend Jeffrey's probably a hipster douchebag. I hate him. Anyway.
Jeff's really cool.
Actually, Jeff is a cool guy.
I love Jeff.
We should hang out. We should do another Vegas trip.
Yes, we should. Kyle T. A for the $5 or 5A, whatever A is. Hey boys, is there any big difference between the Ryzen 1700X 499 it's Australian, and the 1800X 649 Australian?
Kyle,
if I want a high overclock,
probably not at all. Go with the 1700X. Save yourself 150 Australian dollars. Wow.
That's a lot.
Save yourself 150 Australian dollars. You should be able to get the 1700X to about 4 gigahertz. Overclock it a bit. They're all in that same range. Like overall, I do feel like the 1800Xs from the performance numbers I've seen are maybe just ever so slightly bins, but it's so minimal, like it's not worth it at all to pay that much more money. So yeah, 1700X and overclock it, and you're basically at 1800X level for sure.
Indeed. Dazari, $20. Best day of the week when this show is on. Hell yeah! Buy some beer on me until I get the Gritty's Pumpkin Ale set for Halloween. Best Daz Joe, New York. Damn, I think he's going to send us some beer.
We definitely need to do a Halloween show.
I'm down for that.
I haven't looked at the schedule. When is Halloween?
It's October.
It's in October.
I'm pretty sure it's at least in October.
I mean, Halloween is on a Tuesday.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to do something. Fuck.
All right. Well, I'm glad we've discovered.
What should we dress up as?
I don't know.
Tweet us. Tweet us what we should dress up as. Tweet at me, bro. We won't see it in chat.
Costume now.
Tweet at me.
Make a video.
Maybe
I want to make a video about making a costume.
We'll cosplay that shit.
This like costume like.
Costumes are
the level of expectation for costumes is so crazy now with like
because of cosplay. Yeah, fuck cosplay.
And, like,
They've ruined everything.
And like Adam Savage and like the people who do robotics and stuff. They
do crazy costume stuff.
Adam Savage, right?
From MythBusters.
Yeah, he goes
costumes?
to
I don't follow.
He goes to Comic-Con every year.
Oh, and he dresses
does
up like
Adam Incognito, and he makes some crazy costume. And he goes and walks the floor.
Is he the one that did Breaking Bad one year? Was that him? Someone did like a really good
possibly
Heisenberg. Was that him?
I don't
either
know.
way,
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got some big shoes to fill. We'll figure something out.
We'll try to think something up.
Maybe I'll be you, and you can be me.
That was actually suggested in chat. I think.
That's funny.
Or no, someone said Linus and Luke. We could.
You could be Jensen, and I could be Lisa Sue.
I don't. It's a fancy leather jacket.
Yeah, we can't. Both Paul and I's budgets combined couldn't afford Jensen's leather jacket. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's a really nice. It's a one of a kind, from what I've heard. All right,
all right. Let's move on.
Make a dessert. Heather Hansen, Kyle's wife.
Wifey sauce, $5. Hi, Paul. Are Kyle, you, and me going to dinner after the show? Love wifey sauce.
I'm down.
We gotta eat.
Gotta eat.
Gotta eat something.
Yay.
That's a yes.
All right, let's finish.
Cell processing. Too cheap to donate this week.
Thank you, Cell.
Heather is busting heads in chat. You should
Cell,
hire her.
Cell didn't donate, but he just put his comment in the donation comments.
How dare he? Wait,
wow.
He moderates for us, and he's awesome. Okay, you can do it.
Talk about just taking advantage of the authority that's been granted to him.
Power abuse.
So that's okay.
It exists.
That's okay. And Heather, thank you for moderating chat.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're killing it, honey.
We've got a few more down here.
Janurary, $20. One question, however, where the hell is my freaking VRock premium key? Can't find anywhere. Cell, get this in for me, please.
I have no idea. We heard there was a bunch of like controversy about that, and Intel's going to charge $500 for it. I've heard nothing, so I don't know. I think there's. Yeah, I've heard nothing about it.
I can't say.
I've heard nothing. So. Yeah, I hope you get. I hope they decide to make it like $20 or something like that.
Yeah,
charge $20 for it, Intel. People won't be able to complain. They'll be like $20. Okay, it's $20.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lebanon the Whale, $10 looking for a new ITX case for hybrid GTX 1080 Ti plus an R7 1700 AIO. Fantex Evolve ITX, tempered glass, a Shift, or N-Case M1. All will be AIO cooled. Traditional case versus unusual Shift case or mini case. Opinions?
I think with your expected configuration, the Evolve ITX will give you the best experience because trying to fit that much hardware with that much cooling and AIOs all in a mini case, especially like a Shift or an N case. You've worked with a Shift though. I mean,
yes.
Is that?
I think it's more sustainable to only have one radiator or one AIO in the Shift. If you get the Shift X, then you can definitely do. You can AIO both your CPU and GPU.
That's a bit taller though.
Yes,
right? So
it is. It is. But it's still very compact. Like the footprint is still about the same. It's very tiny. Footprint-wise, you just need some vertical space. But yeah, I agree with Paul. The Evolve ITX tempered glass is probably your best bet if you're looking for the smallest, most compact in terms of like liter volume, but
really
the
nice
most AIO support in terms of radiators and stuff.
Frankenzo, $5. Hey Paul, you convinced me to buy the ML08B for my open air graphics card. By the way, you scared me last week. Don't ever show that much emotion again. I'm sorry.
Was that your reaction?
When I was laughing at you?
Yeah. I've never heard you laugh. I mean, I've heard you laugh pretty damn. There's one other time I heard you laugh really that hard, but it only happened.
It's enjoyable.
That's the second time in my life I've heard you laugh that hard.
It's like the older you get, the more jaded you get, right? So it's harder for you to really find something genuinely funny and be like, oh, just whatever. I've heard that. Like that. So when I saw that, like I knew I was expecting you to be like, oh, whatever, like blue, whatever. But then like I don't know, in the eye and the reaction, and everything was ideal. Yeah, it was super awesome.
It was classic.
But yeah, I like it's. Watching that back and laughing at it has, like, I don't know, it's so much joy was spread by that.
yeah.
So that's what makes me happy. But
indeed,
Frank, I'm glad you like the ML08B. Remember, if you're doing heavy gaming, very effective to just pop off the top side panel, the dust filter on that to just let the air flow out. And I'd very much consider just doing something like an active 120mm slim fan or something like that to draw air in, either on the lower one or the upper one. I think you'll get much better temperatures that way. But portability-wise and everything, it's a nice little case. Omar Tyndall, $5. It's 9 million Scoville, Paul, and it's in Kyle's P.O. box.
What?
I'm not touching that.
What?
I'm not touching that.
These are the spicy snacks he was
that's
talking
the Scoville
about?
points is the heat rating.
I'm going to try it.
That's a heat rating,
I'm
not
gonna
a
try it.
spiciness rating. Spicy is flavor. Heat is just hot. It's for not nihilists, for masochists. That's the word. Nihilist, hedonist, masochist.
Nihilists. I don't even believe in spice.
They're all good people. Brownie Nettles, $5. I need a current Windows storage spaces review, and please do it with your 6950X system. It's just like mine. Thanks. I can't promise that's coming anytime soon, Browani. I haven't really used Windows storage spaces, but I hope you can find more information on that soon. I don't want to make any promises I can't keep. Thank you, though, for your donation. Matt Bond, $5.
Hey, guys, I'm going to start another batch of homebrew and wanted to see if you want me to send a growler. Love your shows and keep up the good work. Absolutely. We'll try it on stream if that's cool with you.
Yeah, Matt.
Free beer is always good.
Something that's appropriate for like fall or winter.
Yeah.
Time frame. I like
Oktoberfest.
I like choosing the beers that like line up with the seasons. That's nice.
You're lame. PAG Koji, $5. Paul, when are you going to finish your damn HTPC vlog? Whoa! I accidentally my leg hit the lever on the chair and I just went down like 10 inches.
What just happened?
That must have looked really funny. Sorry about that. Yeah, when are you going to finish your HTPC vlog? He's got an i7 2600K HTPC, or should I use it to get my wife assimilated into the master race?
Okay, a good question. I'm sorry it's taken so long. There's 3 different factors contributing here. One is that the piece of wood that I got has a couple beetles in one corner of it, and I don't know how to get rid of them. I've just been waiting for them to die.
Beetles?
Yeah, beetles, wood beetles.
Oh,
they're supposed to be killed because the piece of wood I got was kilned, but there's one part of it where there's still some, so they must have gotten in there after it was killed or something like that. I'm not sure. So the beetles need to die. Figuring that out. Second thing is that I'm getting a fanless power supply, and actually Enermax is sending that over. I was trying to get the 650 watt fanless version that they teased at a couple events over the past 2 or 3 years, but they never actually brought that one to market, so I'm going with a 550 watt fanless.
Which manufacturer was this?
Enermax.
Enermax, oh yeah.
That's actually on its way right now. Third thing... I don't know if there's a third thing. Third thing is that, I'm redoing the electrical in our house, and we might actually be doing some like home improvement stuff soon, like replacing the floors. And this, like wanting this to time with everything, has made me hesitate on it and stuff. So, what is that?
Just watch. I was thinking, what? The chair starts going.
The chair shut down. This is pretty good. It's like you got short all of a sudden.
Sorry.
So yeah, sorry. All of those things have contributed to me taking a lot longer to get that to get to next steps on that. But it is still gonna happen soon.
It better.
Kyle
following up with you.
Kyle Pearl, $10. Looking for a way to operate 2 PCs using dual monitors, possible as single ultra wide, using the same peripherals. Any suggestions on possible KVM that is sufficient for gaming and/or alternative options?
I do not have. The last KVM I bought was like years ago.
Gamers Nexus.
Do they just do a review on
No,
that?
they do an ad. They do an ad for a piece of software.
Oh.
And I don't remember what it's called.
It starts with an M.
Synergy.
No, it doesn't.
Synergy. Yes.
Synergy.
Thank you, chat. Synergy. We are not affiliated with it all, but hey, if you work for Synergy, maybe you should come sponsor us now since we're plugging your product. Synergy is software you can get, works over your home network, and you can use it to use a single laptop, keyboard, or whatever to control different computers around that. So check out Synergy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Clint Flippo, $20. Balls. My thoughts exactly.
Yeah.
Warning last message.
We don't care. Troll McTrollington, $10 Canadian. It's Canadian anyway. He's from Canada.
Yeah, he has a right to say this.
He said Linus isn't a slut, but he is a whore. It's a very subtle distinction.
So deep. So deep.
There it goes.
Punchaz, $5.
$5.
Great show, guys. Building a new PC and want to liquid cool, but want us want to use mineral oil and dual pumps because of the oil. Is that overkill or not worth it?
Neither of us have ever built mineral oil cooled computers, so we probably can't give you good advice on this.
But I would say it's overkill for whatever you're trying to do. I think that there
overkill.
are already enough things, products out there that you can use without having to mineral oil cool your hardware. That'll work just fine for anything you want to do. So the mineral oil is just so you can say, like, look, I did this and it's super different. It's incredibly unique. There's no other system like it, and I now have the experience of doing a mineral oil cooled system. But as far as like necessity goes, I don't think it's necessary. It's probably overkill. But I think that concludes your half of the show. No, it doesn't. Johnson's. Shit!
Quickly.
Quick. Lord.
Quick Johnson's.
Good Lord.
Where's my mail?
Go.
My mail.
Look at my phone. You go first.
Mail. Okay, I have 3 Johnsons.
Okay.
Juan from Texas.
Juan.
Yeah. Oh, from Houston. I hope you're doing well after everything with recent hurricanes, sir. Got the thumb screw black T-shirt. Thank you, Juan. Also Joseph from New York. Got the black logo, dark gray zipper hooded. Oh, the zipper hooded sweatshirt. That's a nice one. It's very nice
Juan
one.
Gets a double Johnson.
Double Johnson
to you, Juan. Thank you.
All right, final order is from it's different billing and shipping names. So either Muhammad or Ideal.
Ideally.
From Malaysia. Holy crap! I believe this might be my first ever order from Malaysia. I have been to Malaysia once.
Wow.
I was at the airport in Kuala Lumpur.
Still counts.
Still counts. I was there. Thank you for ordering the Thumbscrew Gray Tri-Blend T-shirt. Much obliged to you.
Johnson to Corey. Picking up an Evolution shirt.
Thank you, Corey.
Very much, Corey. And then we've got one from Omar. Omar Johnson to you, sir, for picking up, excuse me, another Evolution shirt.
Lovely.
And then we've got one from Joe. Johnson to you, Joe, for picking up another Evolution. Wow, that's a very popular shirt tonight.
Yeah, that's a good shirt.
And then finally, Muhammad for picking up not an Evolution shirt. A Bitwit white logo and BIOS flasher shirt. Good choices all around, folks. Thank you very much for supporting the channel.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the first half of Awesome Hardware, episode 121. Second half, side B, will be on Kyle's channel.
Don't go anywhere.
Very soon if you're watching live. Link is in the video's description. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out if you enjoyed. We love all you guys, and see you later.
BRB.
Oh no.
Like the video.